Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Folk in Scotland. That was my professional voice I was practising before we started.
You sound like Magnus Magnuson.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, he ended his life as a drink driver, didn't he not? They banned him because he was just boozy on the road, was he not?
Jesus, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his daughter's still on the telly, Sally Magnuson.
Right, okay, what does she do?
Newsreader.
Ah, right, okay. I don't watch
Scottish
TV.
news, so it's only
Nobody,
two beats, you know what I mean? Pie poisonings and heroin addiction.
I love when I do see STV News. Excuse me, I've just had a coffee. And it's so dour. I watched this woman once and she goes, and when they realised they won £15 million, they were ecstatic. Back to you in the studio. It was just, it's so
I'm
awful.
a big fan of Shireen Nanjiani.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of her.
She's been a newsreader since I was a student in Glasgow. I used to see her going about. She didn't really frequent the same pubs as me, as you can imagine. She was the Glasgow elite.
Yes.
The Glasgow elite. The pubs they went to had indoor toilets and stuff, you know?
No, they don't exist. Listen, you're being pulled in with more conspiracy theories that there's toilets in pubs. Enough.
There's some of the public toilets in the pub toilets in Dundee. Jesus Christ! Although the Speedwell, is it the Speedwell?
I don't
know. Mennies in Dundee on the Perth Road has a preservation order on its lavvy.
Why? What? Who paid
and they
them?
do. People don't. I don't know if other cities do this. Dundee has its doors open day,
right?
And it opens places, so you kind of see behind the scenes.
Oh
of
yeah. Once a
buildings
year they do that. Yeah,
once a year. Dundee's premier event is a pub toilet. You go in to see a urinal and a shitter.
That's correct. That's
people
right.
People queue up like it's a. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
It used to be cool.
It's like the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal.
It used to be cool where you'd go to the university and they'd show you around all the bits you're not allowed in, and you'd get to see things.
Yeah, the places where they fiddle with corpses.
Exactly. You get to see things, but no one cares anymore when you've got a toilet like that. Nobody cares. The kids these days, they just want to look at where someone shits.
Yeah. Shireen. Well, Jackie Bird used to jog past my flat.
All right, yeah. She's a good age now, isn't she?
Well, she's retired off the telly. Her else was like two wet pancakes hung over a telephone line.
There's nothing wrong with that look.
There's no else to them. They were concave. The buttocks were concave.
Mm.
You know?
She had a very Scottish face, though, didn't she?
Pinched.
Yeah.
The greatest bit of Hogmanay was seeing Jackie Bird's samosa tits.
When did I saw her? And I saw, is it somebody Faulkner? Faulkner? Jenny? Jenny
Faulkner's her with the jaw.
Yes, I saw her up at the fire swinging we were talking about last time. And I saw them, and they were doing their sort of bit to camera. And there was this group of guys that just followed Jenny Faulkner around singing about how good BBC One was. It just made me laugh.
Jenny Faulkner, she was quite shrewd. She went on blind date,
right? And
she kind of upgraded a blind date appearance to getting some TV work.
A lot of people did that though, didn't they?
Well, they tried to. Most of them tried to, but she was one that was quite successful. But she's one of these lasses. She's a sports addict, so she's very sinewy. But she doesn't. She's like, remember Jackie Brambles?
Yes.
Well, Jackie Brambles went down to Radio 1 and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And she was big. I hate Radio 1, but she was all terrible. Big shit. She's back up here doing some regional Scottish television. They always end up back here licking their wounds.
Yes, exactly.
I don't want to lick Jackie Bird's wounds.
I think, was it Jackie Brambles? She'd done reporting from LA on GMTV or something.
She was a Ross King character.
A Ross King character, yes. And the most fantastic thing about her, she always had her hair did, she always had her good clothes on, but if someone died, she put glasses on and went, very sad news.
That's Pulitzer Prize stuff. Ross King is hilarious. He looks like some kind of shaved chimp.
He looks like a pantomime
He's a
dame.
hunchbacked. He's this big pancaked face. He's awful.
He's terrible.
Been over there. He's been over there for a long time Because he was a bit of kind of Scottish media royalty for a wee while. He's in, is he not in The Hunt for Red October?
What?
Because he tried to make it as an actor. And I think he's in, no, but literally, he's in a tiny little part where he's a guy, I think he's on the American submarine, and he's just at a desk.
I've got to look into this. I want to see it, Ross.
Check his IMB. I'm sure he's on something. But he's best mates with Jerry Butler, Big Shagger Butler. And
Have you seen fucking Ross King's facelift, though?
It's terrible.
Oh, God, and he's woolly hair that's Rogained to hell.
Well, what they do is the technique, because I like to research this periodically, but they get a hair transplant, but hair transplants never work. They just always fail on you. So they get a hair transplant, and then as it's beginning to fail, they just get a wig. So we're back to the old kid. It's just like bloody John Wayne style. Again, they're all just weird. Have you seen James Nesbitt? James Nesbitt had a hair transplant. It never worked. So and they have these little partial wigs, and it's called a system. Call it a system.
Yeah, they've got special names for it, so they don't make it too public. No, I don't think
my
I could go down that
his granddad died, and he had yak hair wigs. He had about 5 of them.
It cost be like a porcupine.
Yeah, they cost a fortune. But I think he was buried in one of them.
Christ, it'll still
so
be
his
there.
His body will have rotted down to nothing, but the wig will still be there.
Well, I got, when I was in Kathmandu, yak wool is worthless there, right? So I thought that was really cool. So I would get like scarves and that. You can't wear it. It's like wearing a Brillo pad. It's fucking it's terrible.
They're a tough animal, a yak.
Oh, they're scary. They're fucking scary. We watched one. We were walking along a cliff, and I think the guide said it was about 600 foot, the cliff, and it was vertical, right down to the Dudcosey River. And we were like, fuck, you got to be careful. And they said when the yaks come past you, you climb up and hold on, and it was all the big rhododendron forests beside us. Yeah. Hold on. Do not go near them. And we were like, okay, that's good advice from the locals. And we watched one just gently try and get his horn under a guy and push him off the cliff. And he actually rolled backwards over its back and jumped up on into the wall.
I would have thought you'd have loved to have been tossed off by a yak.
It wouldn't have been the first time, but I think beside a cliff, that's just too much of a danger.
They drink their milk, don't they? Have you tasted yak milk?
Wait. Yak milk rice pudding is it
rich?
There's a yellow coating on the top, and I went, what the fuck is that? The fat. It tastes. I thought they put tons of sugar in, not a single bit of sugar. It was so sweet.
It's like clotted cream.
It was
clotted
amazing.
Cream. The best bacon I've ever tasted. When I used to work at the shortbread factory when I was a kid, they used to give all the broken shortbread to a pig farm. So they'd feed the pigs buttered shortbread. Can you imagine what that bacon tasted like?
Amazing bacon.
Isn't that just amazing?
I did like bacon when I did eat meat. I loved the bacon. Really nice.
I think, do they not say the smell of cooking bacon's the thing that gives a lot of vegetarians pause? It works on them a little bit.
I could believe that. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a sweet...
Yeah, it's a bit like toast. No one in this world has ever wanted toast until you smell it, and then you go and put a bit on for me. You never want toast until you smell it.
Oh, I know. I have toast all the time.
Do you?
It's like, do you know that is there anybody in the world that doesn't like chips?
Yes, me. I hate them.
You don't like chips?
Will not eat a chip. Hate them.
Fish and chips? You wouldn't eat fish and chips?
No, never.
You are a weird bastard. I keep discovering.
But I'll tell you why.
I think
it's potatoes. I don't know if I've got an allergy to them or something, but when I swallow them, they get down to about my chest, and it feels like there's a knot in my chest. It's a horrible sensation.
Have some, judging by your wee features, there's some Irish in you.
Yes.
I would have thought you're 90% tatty. I thought your DNA. Jesus Christ, this man's half man, half potato.
You're not the first to say it, and I am. My grandparents were Irish, but I don't like as soon as
you telling me?
I like the smell.
The potato famine. There wasn't a lack of potatoes. It's just you silly bastards just said I didn't like them.
I don't like them. Fussy eaters.
Mrs. McShugo, you're starving to death. Your whole family's corpses. You've got to eat the potatoes. No, I just don't
I
really
didn't
fancy
like
them.
it. That was it. See, the thing is, I remember being a kid, and my dad would go, "Eat them. They're just eat your." I can't. Oh, you're too fussy. I feel like I'm choking. You're just being fussy, and that was the way they dealt with an allergy. Work
They
your
should
way
have
through it.
beaten you more, though.
Oh, I think it.
A good stick
I
would have sorted
definitely
it.
think that no children should be hit in any way, but I think it would have done me a power of good.
It would have done you a favour. I don't think allergies existed before 1995.
You know what? There's a lot in that. Well, there was allergies, but there's a lot more now, and I think it's modern living's changed things in the food, and I think there's actually a lot of truth in
Because
that.
nobody had allergies. There was always asthmatic kids.
Yeah, that happened.
And there was one fat guy I was at school with. The entire time I was at school, there was one fat guy. One fat dude. He liked his IT.
Right.
He was an early adopter, clever guy. I think he's a millionaire now, so the last laugh's on him. But there was kind of some people with asthma. But other than that, there was no allergies. But everybody I seem to work with, all their kids, there's one way I say I work with whose deadly allergy is pears.
Pears, yeah.
She eats a pear and she'll just drop.
Well, that's a quite common one. There's something in pears that does that. It's like
Is that a common one? I didn't know
it's
that.
the same as I can't eat if a banana goes slightly off. That'll make me fucking
but is
choke.
that an allergy or is that just your?
No, that's really common.
Because I like a banana when it's just mush, black mush.
Oh well.
Okay.
One of the most common allergies is when they go off. If people take them, they'll feel like they're coughing, and I get that. I actually get that.
Oh,
yeah.
I like it fermented, so it looks almost like a horse's cock that's on the turn.
Oh Jesus!
And you just put some vanilla ice cream on it and mash it up.
When I hear you speak like that, I'm always glad that you put your English degree to good use. Jesus.
Oh, I like a fermented banana.
No, disgusting.
Bananas are so delicious that they ripen other fruit. I see myself as a human equivalent of that. If you sit next to me on the bus, I make other people better.
Or go off.
I'm a human banana.
They turn quicker.
I thought there was
by the way,
I sprung out my bed. I tested my home security system.
Okay.
Last night. There was a thunderous noise, and there was a buzzer, thunderous noise. I thought, fucking hell, somebody's in the house. So I sprung out because I'm quite lithe. You've seen me move.
I've seen you move.
Jumped up ninja-like on my feet. Bare feet, you never put the shoes on. Bare feet gives you purchase. And I pulled out my big yellow dauber from under the bed.
Okay.
I've got one of those things for doing lead roofs. Can this the ones I mean?
Yes.
So like a weighted hat. And I jumped to my feet and went to. It was the cat falling down the stairs taking a shit. But it sounded like two men thundering up the stairs.
Oh, my cat's like that, just running. It's like he wears boots.
I don't know how he fucking does it. I picked him up the other day, and he was looking at me, and he's like, meow. So he came and he sat on my knee, and he was looking at me, and he was purring away, and I smell. He shat in my lap.
It happens.
Just shat right on me. I was fucking furious.
Oh.
Like, you little bastard.
But he's a bit.
It's not been the same with me and him. Oh, he's completely wonky.
He's a bit wonky, so it's like
if you shout at him, he looks the opposite. He'll run the opposite direction. And when I speak to him on my chair, I'll speak at him, but my voice bounces off the wall, so he looks at the wall.
Oh God!
Because he just can't see. He's okay at night, but in daylight,
there'll be too much stimulus. He won't be able to differentiate.
His eyes just don't work during day. No, they don't work during day.
That was like my old job. I was working in a car rental firm, and they were going to be moving up to the Lochie Road. The owner bought land up there, and we're going to have a bigger place and everything. So you had to put in application and notices to everyone that lived in the area what was going to be happening. Mm-hmm. So I worked with this autistic guy, lovely guy, and he had to go out for lunch. But the boss had told the architect that this guy will be coming up. Just explain. He's a bit autistic, so just explain what he needs. He'll do everything perfect. But he went out for lunch, so they sent me up instead. And I don't think he was used to dealing with anyone autistic, because he went, "Now, son, here's what you do." And because he was talking to me, I went, "Right, what?" And because I went, what? He went, I'll explain it again.
Oh no.
And so from then on, he thought I was the autistic one. But when he met the autistic guy, because he didn't have it in his head he was autistic, he didn't see it. So he just talked to him normally, like as you should. So he didn't spot it. But every time he came in, he brought me a Mars bar.
Oh God!
Here's a Mars bar, son. I went, oh, thank you.
So you never told him otherwise. You
No, I
thought,
wanted
"Fuck,
a
I'm
Mars
getting
bar. What the fuck?
I used to, believe it or not, when I was at school, I didn't like sport as much, but I could run like fuck.
Right.
And
okay.
every Thursday after school, they used to have like a cross country race,
Oh, lovely. I enjoyed that.
and I won it every single week.
Wonderful.
You know why? Because
Why?
you won a Mars bar. That was the prize. You got a Mars
Motivated.
bar. That would motivate me to run like fuck. Get my Mars bar.
I think I told
and
you
then
this
go.
story where I was doing cross country run, and it was on the Harris Academy on the Perth Road, which is now a new Harris. It's all been rebuilt. But our playing fields were essentially on Riverside, so you had to go across a main road, and you'd run along Riverside as your cross country run. And I remember me and my mate Attar, greatest guy ever.
Mm-hmm.
We were running back, both of us very last, and I remember my teacher, Mr. Knight, coming out looking where we were, and he went, oh, for Christ's sake, and he's going, Tam, come and look at this. And we couldn't understand why they were both just shaking their heads but laughing. But we'd stopped for like a mock chop supper and a fish supper, and we're running, eating our food as we went.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That wouldn't be good for your digestion, would it?
No, it was, but we couldn't run, so we were doing what we were sort of hobbling.
I could have really, the running thing. I could have competed. I competed in like a kind of a regional thing, and I thought, well, this is great.
God,
but I
right.
just did. I didn't have you know what I mean. I'm not competitive enough to really care.
That's
I don't have that
something,
drive.
Yeah, it was always missing.
I watched a documentary about Lance Armstrong, and if they said to Lance Armstrong, "We're going to take your heart out, and we're going to give you a rhino heart, and you'll live for 5 years, and then a big rhino horn will grow out your arse, and you'll burst, and you'll die horribly, but you'll win."
Take it.
You'd have done it. You'd have done it.
Yeah.
I didn't care, but I thought when I went to uni, I thought I'll maybe get back into the running. So I went and got myself the gear to run, and I went for a run, and I stopped, and I was near a pub, so I went into a pub, and I had a pint, and I had a fag, and I never ran ever again. I just couldn't. I couldn't. You know what I mean? I used to quite like going out in the countryside and running.
Yeah,
it used to be quite pleasant.
I used to enjoy it. And it was cycling for me, as you know. I loved cycling.
Yeah.
Just love it. I never fast, never anything, but I could go distance. There was one point I actually built a tourer bike, because there was one point there was no work in Dundee, and I thought, right, I'll do I had an idea in my head to cycle to India.
Well, you could have put onions. You could have been like, have you heard of the Ingin Johnnies?
No.
Back in the day, a Frenchman, this is true, used to come across from France with the onions, and then they'd put the onions on their bikes, and they'd cycle about up in the northeast of Scotland.
That's
selling
a real
onions.
thing.
Onion. That was an actual thing.
I thought that was just like a weird stereotype.
No,
that actually happened.
You know, with the striped shirts, and you think it's all bullshit. That was a thing.
Oh God, I'd love that'd be a good job.
And there was like Indian guys used to go about, and they'd be with suits, and they'd come to people's doors in the northeast of Scotland with suits. They'd travel. There's a guy up in the guy that used to do the tour boat in Loch Ness,
right?
George Edwards, and he had this glass bottom boat. And he spoke like Sean Connery, and he claimed to have found the deepest part of Loch Ness called Edwards Deep. It's all bullshit.
Right.
His father was an Indian guy that come across a travelling suit salesman. He'd got one of the locals up the duff and buggered off. And this kind of nice kind of yeah. So fascinating. To this day, I was on the train. God, this is a long time ago now. But I was up seeing my mum and dad. And there was all these German guys on the train, and they had these strange hats. I remember it was like a kind of brimmed hat with a feather in it. And these were these German workmen, and they're a kind of German workmen, and they're craftspeople, and they were coming across to Scotland to do work as well.
Right.
But this is things that have happened for hundreds of years. Strange, isn't it? But fascinating.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that happened to me like that is in the early 90s, I had a Lada Riva.
Right,
I
okay.
got
Oh,
it.
that's exotic, yeah.
I think Jeff got me it, and it was for fuck all, just nothing, you know. And
Uh-huh.
I ran around in it, and it constantly broke down. But eventually, it
Right.
wasn't going to get through an MOT. And I was
No.
about to put it in MOT where I live, and I've always done it. And the guy went, "Wait, there's sailors in looking for them at the moment."
Uh-huh.
So he says, "Give me half an hour and come back." So I went back down again, and he says, "Look, it's not going to get through its MOT." And there's these young sailors, and they were like, "Oh, we'll give you £500 if you have the paperwork now." And I went, "What?" And he went, "Yeah, £500 in the early 90s for a car that was about to fail its MOT. They needed the parts, and they were selling them for a fortune."
I'm not taking it.
Yeah,
Because there was a notice up, was it Highland somewhere? There was a Russian boat that was stranded, and there was Russian guys that were there for a long time. They
right.
got to know the locals quite well and stuff. But they were buying. I remember the people had like snobberies back in the day. I remember when some kid at my school, their mum and dad had bought a ladder, and they were
Uh-huh.
just mocked like fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Skodas and ladders. Remember, you'd be mocked.
Oh, you'd be
Or
mocked for
trainers.
that, yeah.
If you didn't have the right trainers, they tried to mock you. And then there was a spell. Remember back with the phones was a thing.
That's right,
People
yeah.
don't do it so much now, but they mocked people for having the wrong phone.
Yeah,
It's all designed
it's-
to encourage people to buy new stuff.
And
It's weird.
who's the prison wardens? We are. We are the ones that tell other people to, oh, look at your trainers. So they buy.
Yeah.
We do it. It's not like the companies.
No.
It's us.
No.
We do it. We're
It's
guilty. Yeah.
it's like a horrible, the brown shirts of capitalism. Just going
100%.
about.
Yeah. I
It's
agree.
weird, isn't it? I don't think it's a thing that happens so much now.
I had a friend, and now don't get me wrong, she was really, really, really wealthy. You wouldn't.
Right.
She lived that life and that. Nice as fuck though, but
Right.
but she did say something to me once. She said about my car, my little green car. She goes, "What on earth possessed you to get a car of that colour and tone?" And I'm like, I didn't have a fucking choice. It was what the one I could afford. If it was flesh pink, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we'd have
yeah,
been
okay.
driving. But she didn't have a concept that my main concern wasn't the colour that I would choose. So
Yes.
you see how some people just don't get it.
There's a thing on like a pottery show, the pottery throwdown, and I like it.
Mhm.
I like just to see potting anyway. But there's a lassie in it who's this model, and she's wealthy, and you just know from everything about her, her life, and it's not a jealousy thing,
Yeah.
but her life has been so easy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They don't understand. They have no concept
yeah.
of ever being tight for cash. They can't. They just can't see. They just can't. It bemuses them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
often they're not maybe being horrible when they say things like that. Okay, it's like let them
That's
eat,
what I
eat
thought.
cake.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
Let them
thought.
eat cake's a famous statement that
Yeah.
says, "Oh, she was being horrific." Anne Boleyn, she didn't know better.
No,
It's
that's
weird.
it. And this girl, Lisa, I'm talking about, she was exactly like that. I think I told you before. I'd waited a lifetime and saved for 4 years to go to Nepal. That's what I talk about all the time. It was the biggest. I've been so many places, but that's the one that had the impact.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's the one you had a spiritual awakening. when you
I wouldn't
woke
go
up.
that far.
You
And
woke up with that Sherpa and his pet yak.
oh, it was spiritual. And I came back. And she was asking about it. She went, "Oh, it sounds great." Next day, phoned me. Me and my mate have booked up to go, and they went. 3 weeks
yeah.
later, they were there, and I was like,
There you go. There you go.
You're not going to get the same experience. It's not.
No.
It's not the same thing. You'll
No.
have a great
You-
time,
you-
but it's not the same.
You keep telling yourself that.
But you know what I mean, though. It was
I
just
know,
too
I know.
last minute.
It's like I told you, we spoke before. Elton John going to the Virgin Media, the superstore,
yeah.
and he just filled a shopping trolley with DVDs. And you're like, there's nothing special about it. You just can't. That's why a lot of very, very wealthy people, they go gambling in lieu to make it feel anything in the slightest prick through their. They have to lose millions of pounds.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm
They
not
just
saying
can't.
being on the other side and not having money is the right way. That's certainly not. But
No,
you
no,
have to have
no.
a sort of intellectual
No.
balance in it.
People that say money doesn't make you happy, they're speaking out their innocence.
Because they've never bought a puppy. If you've bought a puppy will make you happy. Oh, money can't buy you love. Go and buy a puppy.
Buy a puppy or a cat that shits in your lap.
You're happy
Saying,
as
I didn't
fuck.
buy that. There's a woman I follow on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
It's a woman who have had run-ins at my work. She's been banned from most
Oh
buildings.
yes, I
and
know
things.
who she is. Yeah.
The latest bit about her is absolutely glorious. She has discovered that 4 years ago, her son's in-laws won £1 million on the lottery,
No.
and nobody had told her.
Oh my God.
So two of her sons, her grandchildren, his daughters-in-law, nobody had fucking told her a pop, and she is melting down. But she's pretending it's pure and utter furious jealousy.
Oh my God.
She's working herself up. She's complaining to the courier because she feels that there's a black and white cat in my garden. Just get to say hello to it. Oh shit! And she's complaining to the courier. She feels like because she sees herself as a campaigning activist in Dundee, and she's a media person, and she feels that the courier should have contacted her and let her know about this win.
Oh my God.
She's like that. How dare they? Nobody's reached out to me because she claims she's poverty stricken, her and her remaining son, and she's wanting to move to Dundee, and she's living in a shithole, and nobody's reached out to give her any money. But the beauty of it is, she's such a vile cunt.
Yeah.
She's been so unpleasant to these in-laws. They've banned her from all events. So in her head, she'll know if she'd just been nicer to them. Back in the day. So it got to the stage, she was so furious about it, she had to phone the ambulance because she was having a panic attack.
That's incredible. Isn't that fucking brilliant?
So the chickens have come home to roost. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Deranged.
It is deranged. That is a good word for it, because that's the way she is. I've seen her and she is deranged. Yeah. But I had a friend once, and she said to me, she goes, "No, I'm sticking with you as a friend because you're one of those lucky bastards that will win the lottery." And I thought, what? That's not a nice thing to say. Why would you think that way?
Why would you give anybody any money? If I won the lottery, I wouldn't give anybody anything. I'd give my family money.
Your family, that's it. Jesus,
I'd invite them to I've won the lottery party, but make them pay for their own drinks.
Wonderful.
And I wouldn't even show up.
Oh, that's
I'd do a video call from Barbados. I'd be on a beach. Hi, thanks for being there, guys. I put some free salted peanuts behind the bar.
But you gave something away there. You gave something away. The same thing I would do, actually. You thought about a lottery win in your head, and the first thing you said, you'd help your family out. That's what I do, because beyond that, you just need, like, if I'm comfortable to pay my bills and stuff like that, what do I need? Do you know what I mean?
If you had enough money, so none of your family ever had to work again. Just say to them, look, never work again. There you go. You wouldn't need that much money to do that as well, because I wouldn't have dramatically changed my lifestyle. I'm pretty happy with my life.
That's something. I would still want to go to my studio and work. That's all things that I enjoy.
You need all that, but you'd go on a holiday. It would be wonderful. Just there would be no pressure for the rest of your life. It'd be great.
For me, it's just that safety net behind me. I would like. That's what I would like. Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't have. But then the thing is, you couldn't have really. The one thing I would say about it, money doesn't make you happy. I think a lot of friendships end.
That's true. It does. Yeah.
Because your shit. The friends who aren't really friends would expect money from you and fall out if you didn't get it. And then your genuine friends would feel awkward because they would feel, do they think I'm mooching? You know what I mean?
Yeah, apparently that happens. I watched one guy, and he bought his best friend. He says, they've supported me through everything, so I bought them houses and stuff like that. He says, worst thing that ever happened, because they felt so obligated. He says, I emasculated these friends. It took everything from them by doing that for them. And that's true. You've got to be very careful, you know?
I know, if you just bought them a house and they'd feel like they'd owe you something.
Yes, that's
how many times could they thank you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You'd have to say,
look, I really know,
I'm giving you cash. You mustn't say anything. You mustn't say thank you. You mustn't ever mention it again.
Yeah, do with this money whatever the fuck. If you want to spend all on hookers and drugs, feel free.
Do it.
But let's never mention this again.
It mustn't, and you must not say thank you or I appreciate it or get me a wee thank you gift.
Check us fantasising about winning the lottery. The funny thing is, I've never bought a lottery ticket. I've not bought a scratch card. Not once.
We used to go surfing, and at the weekend we'd buy 2 scratch cards, and for 7 months every week I won. Every single time. I never lost.
Jeez.
Isn't that
Jesus.
mad?
The corner shop down for me is City Boots. I've been in there with folk with their clays are basically falling off them,
Yes,
and they're
that's it.
spending 60 quid on scratch cards, fags and scratch cards, and you think, holy shit! Because up from here there's the place called the Villa, and it's adults with learning difficulties, and there's
Yeah.
a laddie for there, and he's in there spending 30-40 pound a day on scratch cards, and you think, is there not a social work?
Someone's
I
stopping
know
that.
it's a free society, but I sometimes think, should the shopkeeper maybe say to him, you know what I mean?
It's a tax on the poor, because it's like
Yeah.
when you go into Lochee in our local shop, coming up for like Euro Millions, there's actually queues of old people waiting to get their weekly ticket and that. And
Yes, it is. It's not, and the thing is, the lottery money goes towards fucking Bali.
yeah, things that they'll never
The folk
experience.
who go to the Bali, they're not buying lottery tickets.
That's right.
It's just I didn't like. I'm not a gambler. I don't really get spend again horse racing or anything. The minute you had a national lottery, it kind of legitimised all forms of gambling.
I agree.
I hate all that fucking online bingo and all that shit.
I hate that shit. That's just pure gambling.
And do you notice they put this little bit on saying, "Can gamble responsibly?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Well,
They've been forced to do that.
Big gambling in Dundee is big bingo halls, giant bingo halls with old ladies in them. But nobody thinks it is gambling. They think it is a social thing where they meet their friends and they can enjoy a game.
I suppose if you go along, some of those old ladies,
a fortune.
Does it? You can't do it like.
Oh no! It costs a fortune just to go in there. A lot of money.
Christ.
A lot of money.
But what I read was that the Ladbrokes say they'll have they're allowed so many. The money they make is not on the horse racing. That doesn't make them any money.
Right.
The money they make is pure and simply on puggy machines. It's just like Vegas. Vegas, you've got all the Frank Sinatras all sitting at their high-end tables. That doesn't make them the money. It's the puggy machines.
Yeah, just putting money away.
So Ladbrokes, they're only allowed so many puggy machines in each place. So they want to have multiple shops so they can have multiple puggy machines.
Well,
it's terrible.
For anyone listening, in Scotland, we call fruit machines puggy machines.
Puggy machines.
A puggy machine. Now, the thing is with puggy machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think by law they've got to pay out so much, and it's like 70% they've got to pay out.
Right. Okay.
Right. But people think, well, that's quite high. No, when you lose money, you don't get it back. That's the difference. So you will eat through your money at getting 70% back. Because the only way you can keep your money is 100% back. That's it.
Yeah.
So the house always wins. But apparently, that is a higher chance of getting your money back than getting your full private pension. How about that?
Jesus Christ.
You've got a higher chance of just putting your money in a fruit machine, getting your money back, than getting your full pension. And I've actually known people around me that have all been stung badly, and they're really in trouble in their old age.
They've done this thing with the pension where you used to get it was kind of, there was a control element, but now you get it all in a lump sum.
Yeah.
It was available to you. So folk are just getting all their money and blowing it all.
Yeah.
Or there's all these pension advisors sprung up who are like robbing people. Because PPI was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was all people PPI, and it was all a huge thing, and everybody was getting the PPI money now. They're now going on to something like data security.
Right, okay.
So the people that used to do your PPI, they now say, oh, you've lost data, and if you pay us, we'll sort out your data. There's adverts popping up on the TV, the latest kind of ambulance chasing. Technology is great. Like the internet's wonderful for old people. They're the people that benefit the most from it.
Yeah.
It should allow them to shop online and everything, communicate with people. But because they don't quite know enough, they're like lambs to the slaughter, a lot of them. It's
true.
terrifying.
It's like you're saying the PPI, all these companies getting it for you. If you just phoned your bank would give it to you by law for free of charge.
There's a guy called Martin Lewis who's on the TV.
Yes,
and he's a bit irritating.
He's good,
He's irritating.
He's good.
But he is very good.
He knows his shit.
And he had a free online forum. You downloaded it, you fucking filled it in, you handed it to your bank, they gave you the money.
That's right.
But there was one my job at the museum. There was a guy who was a PPI guy across the street, and he was charging like 35% or something.
Yes, just theft.
You're like, fuck, that's theft.
Just theft.
and I bet you slept very well at night. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're
they
right
don't
cunt.
care. They don't
No,
care.
they don't
People
care.
like that, they don't care. I have a friend and his parents worked all their life, were able to take a bit early retirement, but their pension was attached to shares and everything.
Oh no!
So they were good for about 7 years, and then it was all gone. And he had to pick it up and actually help them out massively. Gave them his car, so he had to go and buy a new one, and helped them move to a smaller house so they could afford it, and he could help. And it was fucking terrible. And they'd always been really well off, really doing okay, all gone.
I didn't have blown it really. It just disappeared.
No, it just disappeared. The money just goes. This happens all the time.
Money is just bullshit. Really.
Yes,
it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just, but money only works because people believe that money's got any value. The minute somebody goes, this is just a piece of paper.
It happened
it's all fucked.
When my father died. There was in his all the pension and all the different parts. If anything happened to him, there was an instant payout within 3 days of his death of £10,000 to make sure my mum was okay, to get her through that period until pensions were in place and all this sort of thing. But in that time, it had gone from like Dundee Council to the North of Scotland Water Authority, which I now think is something else. And they just said, no, we don't know where that is, never heard of it, so we can't do it. Then they went, well, when we took over, we didn't take over pensions, that's not true. When you take over a company, you take over everything with it. So it went on for 2 years of legal wrangling, and they knew that she was in a bad position, so they just kept pushing. They'll just keep it going so they wouldn't pay it out. And here's the thing. When it first started, I think there was like 40-odd men that had taken out this pension. My dad was the last one to die. And they and they never paid out any. And when it came to just to pay out one, they wouldn't pay it out. So in the end, they just went, you've been through a very tough time and we understand, so we'd like to offer you a gift of £1,000. That's what a letter came in. And she was so upset.
You'd be tempted to go. You sometimes understand why people go around to the headquarters and shoot everybody up.
Yeah.
It must drive people mental. Corporate America, they take out life insurance on some of their employees.
Yeah, it's
so
fucking shocking.
People have died and the families are bereft of money. The company makes money on them.
It's just terrible. And that was, I saw that, 20 odd years ago, but I saw that for the first time, how cold. I mean, the woman that was in charge of it would phone my mum and say, look, he's gone, he's dead, can you not let this go?
Oh, Jesus
That's
Christ.
what was said to her. And luckily, I was smart enough to record all phone calls and that, but it was terrible. It was terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah.
There was, you remember that Real Time Worlds, a computer company in Dundee?
Yes, yeah.
A mate of mine worked for them.
Okay.
And they were in financial difficulty. And a lot of the staff from there, basically, Abertay University was a feeder for this real-time world. So the computer course at Abertay was kind of simpatico. It was like a symbiote of this company. So you'd get your degree from Abertay and you'd work for real time.
Yeah.
Anyway, as they got into financial difficulty, Abertay basically gave them a big fucking suitcase of cash.
Right.
Huge amount bailout money. The company still went tits up. The money disappeared, right?
Oh my God.
The managing directors of the company all got this huge payout as the company imploded.
Yeah.
But all the employees were basically chucked out in the street.
Right.
And my mate waited. So he would get all the what are they called? The people that come in to deal with the liquidators come in.
Yeah. And
he was getting all this legal documents saying this is this stage of the documentation. This is the latest legal thing. A check came in the post, and I think it was for something like £7.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, the bosses of the company were all in Barbados.
I just read this
today.
Taking
pictures.
It's one mental. Huge cinema group in UK. It's about to close down. The head guys have just been given bonuses going up to like 208 million.
Fucking
and
hell.
They were given bailout money. Everyone's sacked. No one's got any work, and they're getting these massive bonuses. How is this allowed?
That's ridiculous.
I just read that this morning.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. It happened with Toys R Us. The guy that owned Toys R Us died, and within months, all the owners, the new owners, shut the whole lot down, and they got bonuses worth again hundreds of millions, and everyone's out of work.
corporate greed. It's like Tesco's. Tesco's, big, massive, huge company, but they overexpanded and they were buying up foreign companies. They just get bigger because these companies, they can't stay still. They have to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And but all the CEOs were all flying about in private jets.
I heard
they were living like princes.
This is what happens now. You know the car rental firm Hertz? Well, the way Hertz is now, if you look very carefully at the logo, it's slightly different to what it was, say, 15 years ago, because they're actually different companies.
Okay.
So Hertz went under because venture capitalists came in. Now, when they come in, they strip it. And apparently, because we'd sometimes drive down to Heathrow and pick up cars there and all this sort of thing. It was a pain in the arse. But down there, some of these guys from America came in to see what they could sell off, and they were asking, it was fire extinguishers, are they ours? And they're like, yeah, so get them sold. They'd come from America, and they were petty little things, selling everything to make money.
Like asset stripping.
Yeah, but these were super rich guys, and they were just stripping everything. And it was, when you hear them stripping it, you're thinking it's in a sort of banking term. No, they were, what's in that drawer? They wanted everything sold so they could get the money. It was quite incredible. So Hertz is now another company.
It's a different company.
It's completely different.
I love watching programming on the TV. It's like people will buy a locker. And then there'll be suitcases in it, but they don't know what the hell it is, and it's a gamble. You take a chance.
Yeah.
And there could be diamonds in it. But I've seen ones that auction off all the suitcases that have been left behind.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
In the airport. But the thing is, the staff have been in all the suitcases, taking out all the good shit. So all you end up getting is like underpants,
used underpants and shit.
Third-hand dildo products.
Because they've got nobody looked in them, and it's like, hold on, they have X-ray machines. They know all the cameras and iPads.
Oh, they've got a good. I mean, rightly so. Staff, like, if you get a chance of a freebie, you have to. I'm not speaking about theft. But if there's anything left over, kind of a wee bottle of wine that's been left after a party.
Actually,
people should be able to help themselves.
That takes me down another route. At the same place that I worked, car rental place, I found a laptop. All right, went up the office, filled in the form, found a laptop. He says, do you have the guy's number? I went, yeah, I got it. All right, I'll go and give him a phone. He goes, no, just keep it, mate. And I'm like, what? I says, what do you mean? Do you want it disposed of or that? He went, do you need a laptop? And I went, why? He went, just keep it. I don't need it. And I thought, well, that's weird. I says, well, could you talk to my boss then and tell them that I can? Yeah, sure. And then he come over, he says, just keep it. The guy sounds insane, just keep it. Right? That was weird.
What was on it?
Hold on, check this. A few months later, went out to the same company. Fucking laptop in it, right? So, but in the case it was in, it was empty. It was just the laptop and the charger, and everything else was out it. Maybe a biro or something, right? Phoned them up again, someone else. But it was a guy that I knew was part of this thing. And he says, just keep it, just give it away. And I'm like, right, okay. Talk to my boss, same again. Boss is going, this is fucking weird. What it was, they were company laptops. So they were saying they were lost and getting a new laptop.
Oh.
And they were getting on insurance. So as it was turning out, they were old Windows laptops, and they were getting their new sort of Apple ones and everything. So they ended up with, I had 2 laptops. The girl at work there, she got one, and someone else got one as well. It ended up just every couple of months there was another laptop.
Jesus Christ! Well, there's in the basement of the museum. There's lockers, and they're supposed to be. You put your stuff in while you're visiting the museum.
Right.
But we'd noticed that one locker, the key, it was long-term locked. The key was missing.
Right.
And it's like, so people were kind of keeping an eye on it, wondering what the hell it was. And no sign. So eventually opened it, and it was full of really strange, like, there was a laptop, there was a lot of documentation, and people kind of had a wee glance and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all financial stuff and all, just really, really weird. So anyway, nothing's supposed to be in that. So it all went to the police station. Anyway, this angry guy appears a couple of days later. Where's all my belongings? And we're like, we went to the police station, and he became very, very, very fucking nervous. But the thing what he'd been doing was, he's a married guy, and he'd been keeping this, whatever little life he had going on the side, secret.
Oh,
So he was
right,
coming
right,
and
right,
going.
right.
He was
Yeah.
basically, yeah. So this was unbeknownst to his wife. He had money and business thing he was keeping going. Very strange,
Amazing.
but
One.
quite clever in its own way.
Oh,
But I
yeah,
think
people are like
I
that.
think it's like that in railway stations in America. You always think, hey, these
Yeah.
people have lockers forever. And they just
Well,
nefarious business happens in them.
yeah, I mean, at the same job, we used to put up what's it called, minibuses to Condor. You know, the Marines up in Arbroath,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
up
yeah.
there all the time. And when you brought a van back from there, you had this, your iPods, watches, books. They just left everything behind, and I had boxes and boxes full of stuff. Would contact them, keep them for a year. I'd end up with loads of stuff. Nobody wanted it.
Well, I used to work security, and there's a thing in St Andrews called the KK Ball. And there's
Okay.
a big, the place we're doing it, there was like a loch, a little, we spoke about a lake, little thing, boating pond kind of thing, with a boat hut. And you had to patrol it because the young students were drunk and were always fucking planning to go swimming.
Oh,
And they
something
would have drowned.
stupid. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But what they were doing was they were going into the boat and hut for a shag.
Right. Okay.
So what you would do is you would go down. Two of us would go down with with a Rottweiler dog and a big torch, and you'd go in and startle them. What are you doing here? And they'd all pull their breeks up and run off.
Yeah.
But then you just go along, and the amount of stuff you'd find, they weren't supposed to bring money with them because the entire thing was free.
Yeah.
But there'd be cash, there'd be little baggies of stuff,
Yeah.
there'd be jewellery, and people just took it all home because they're all quite well off, the students. So you thought, fuck them.
That's true. Actually, with the squaddies, a lot of drugs were found in the buses. A lot.
Oh, can you
It was
imagine?
all over it. Yeah, there was a lot.
I was walking down my street the other day, and I looked over. There's a fence at the bottom. I looked over, and here's an Apple Watch
What? Yeah, really?
sat over the fence. Yeah,
Oh.
I could see that it was kind of broken,
Uh-huh.
but I just got a little branch and tweaked it up and had a look at it. I think it's maybe the first generation one, but
Right.
it looks like somebody's maybe nicked it.
Yeah.
It's broken and just chucked over the fence. But I took it apart. I've got to say, Apple products, they're quite well made.
Beautifully
give them
made.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
bit of engineering. Can the case and that's lovely. It's a lovely thing. But
Everything
I
on
wouldn't
the
have
works
like an
great,
app.
but-
Because you've got a smartwatch, because you're part cyborg.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You've
and
got it
I'll-
alarm so it reminds you when not to eat.
Well, no, it reminds me when to eat. You claim this that
Oh.
I don't eat, but I do, and I
Does
I
it
love
give
it.
you a mild electric shock?
It buzzes. Is that the same? It gives a wee
Well,
buzz.
There was a thing on, I think it was not on Netflix, but it was Florida Man Murders.
All right.
And you've heard that if you type in Florida Man with a
Oh, you're
date,
just getting madness. Yeah.
madness. So it's like 4 episodes of these lunatics committing mad crimes. But there's a cat burglar that killed a couple. But he was so dangerous that they had him wearing a belt. So he was shackled and he had a belt on. And if he tried to escape, they could electrocute him.
Jesus. People are terrifying, aren't they? It's
Florida, like Miami, seems to me the maddest place you could possibly imagine.
It seems to be
and
insane.
it all seems to just be dentists and strip clubs
yeah.
and gyms. There's nothing
Oh,
else
God.
there. There's no museums, nothing, no libraries.
Our
Man.
friend Jeff lived there for, I think, 3 months. He was there
Can
for
you
3
imagine?
months.
He doesn't look like he'd fit in Florida.
He doesn't.
does he?
And he just says it was lots of elderly ladies on
Oh,
inline skates
well.
with massive tits, brand new tits. He said it was
Like
weird.
old ladies.
Yeah, he says it was horrible.
Oh.
He says it was just the weirdest place, but yeah, no.
Ah,
It's
what did he do there? Just
although he did say
the-
when he
Uh-huh.
flew in there, they were
Uh-huh.
about to land, and the captain says, "Look out the window," and he saw the space shuttle take off
oh
in the
fucking hell!
distance. And when he flew out, the space shuttle was taken off again, and he was able to see it. And he says that was awful nice of them to do that for me.
Ah, that's quite nice.
A bit excessive,
the heat,
but it makes you feel
the
good.
heat would get to me. I quite like
I'm
the thought.
terrible with the heat.
Oh, it's that moist heat, and
I'm
I
so
quite
bad
like the
with it.
idea. The thought of a crocodile, like an alligator, eating somebody that's playing golf appeals to me.
Oh, that appeals to me incredibly. Yeah, but I'm not.
I
a
like.
heat
Okay, we
person
live
at
in a
all.
country where there's nothing very dangerous. You've got like an adder, but I think what did they say? An adder will only kill like a toddler or an elderly person with a heart condition.
Yeah, and I've only ever seen
That's as
one, and it was
dangerous as
killed
it
on the
gets.
road. You don't see
Yeah.
them. You don't. Nah, you don't get anything.
I think my dad said he was he when he was a kid. there was a shop in the town that had an adder and a bottle of whiskey or something.
Oh shit!
I'm not quite sure of that.
Tastes
You
awful.
get those in Florida. You get those snake churches in America.
Oh,
That'd be
yes,
good to go
yeah.
to. Get with the rattlesnakes.
I'll sit at the back, thanks.
I'd go. See, that's the kind of church I'd be a member of.
Oh Jesus! Someone just died recently doing that again.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have. They
it's a
didn't see that
surprise, isn't
coming,
it?
did they? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I was speaking to an evangelical Christian
Okay.
because of his support of politics, whatever, by and by. But they said to him, "You do realise in the QAnon thing," and he, without a hint of irony, he says, "The problem with the QAnon stuff, it's so fanciful and ridiculous."
Oh well, yes. This is what happens though. You
thought
choose
you're an evangelical Christian, man.
You choose it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you choose your own poison, don't you?
But
you really do.
I was in the States once, and someone said to me, "Do you believe in God?" Because they all think if you're from anywhere else in America, you're all godless. And obviously I am. But I went, I eventually got an answer that seemed to work. I went, "What God?" And they went, and they were dead polite. They went, oh, the Christian God, and they would go into it and everything. I went, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure I've heard of that one. Oh, right, no problem.
Yeah.
And they just took it. But it took me a little while to get an answer. Just to say that.
To be good. I'm an atheist. I kind of always have been. I think.
Yeah.
But it's not an issue in this country. I can say to people I'm an atheist. It's quite a thing in America to say you're an atheist.
I had someone brought over to meet me because they never met an atheist before.
Yeah, it's quite a thing.
Yeah.
That's quite a thing. A public figure that says they're an atheist, they don't really like to say it. Like, I watched the inauguration, and it was kind of a lot. It was a lot kind of. It seemed to be a nicer vibe, shall we say?
Yeah.
But there's an incredible amount of God talk.
That's right, and there's meant to be a separation of church and state in America.
You don't realise there's a lot of God talk. It's a
weird one. It's a weird one.
It is interesting. It's never made sense to me.
But in the States, I was never confronted about being an atheist. Everyone was totally fine with it. I think because I'm Scottish and they saw me as the other, very different from far away. Well, you're different, that's fine. But I think if you're American, especially living in the Midwest, and you're openly atheist, I think you might not get a job. There's a lot of things around it, that's
because they kind of see they see if you're godless.
Yeah.
They think you've no morals.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas if they looked at the murder statistics in America, you know what I mean?
Well,
there's a lot of Christians killing people.
I have to say, the people I were living with, they were Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
And nobody lived up to it. And that's what I had to explain. I says, when people get annoyed, like Christians in one aspect, it's not because you're a Christian, it's because you're not living up to it. That's where like someone from the outside goes, that's weird. We don't get it. And they just didn't seem to understand that. But it's I don't care what anyone believes in.
Neither
I will call it what I believe it is. I believe it's delusion. I really do. And I've said to anyone.
Even in my view, even a very mildly religious person, they're still delusional.
Delusional, of course, it is. But they would say things.
It's no different from the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And people will be offended by, say, you and me saying that, but it's not. It's the same thing. And but they were like, "But what stops you from murdering someone?" And I was like, "I do. I murder as many people as I want."
Human decency. And the thing is, if somebody who's an atheist doesn't kill people, they're not doing it, they're doing it off their own back, just basic human compassion. They're not doing it because of some fear of eternal damnation.
Yeah, but I heard a lot of the arguments. It was never directed towards me, but a lot of the arguments, all the biggest killers in history are atheists, and Darwin on his deathbed said that he regretted everything and he found God again, and all these lies. That's
not true.
And I'm like, go and look in, you get these free Jehovah's Witness books and everything that's in them. I was actually fascinated. It was really interesting.
You can, but you will become a Jehovah's Witness if they choose to. Because once you're dead, they can convert you.
I think the Mormons did that with all the Jews that died in the Holocaust.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's silliness, but it's You hear things like.
But the interesting thing about Mormonism is it's a very modern religion. So you can actually see you can see how it's come about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not
it's
lost
just
in time. They see how they've cut out, they've excised all the stuff about, because they have a lot of aliens in their stuff as well.
And it was very racist.
So
Until the
that's
late
all been
60s.
removed.
Yeah.
That has been removed in real time.
The funny thing is, especially in the States, when you're in your chosen religion, you're very in it. They look at other religions and talk about them as the way an atheist like me talks about them. They've got it. They understand it, but it doesn't apply to themselves.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean by that?
They
can just go, well, that's silly because they believe, and clearly that's not, and they can break it down and understand it. But when it comes to their own one, they do not question it.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's really strange.
I was promised snow today.
Yes.
So,
where is it?
God, could we snow? He's not going to listen. If he exists, she's no listening to me.
The sky's looking a bit heavier, I have to say.
It's looking heavier. It's a heavy sky, mate.
It is, isn't it?
I love the snow. I love the snow.
You know what?
I'll stand out there and I put my head up to heaven and open my mouth. I like a wee snowflake to land on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, God, that pure snowflake. But I love snow. I love it. And I would just love it to shit down properly and just stay there for just even a few days. Just give us some beautiful snow. I love it.
Oh, no, snow's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm with snow. Like, you know when they introduce a puppy to snow? They see snow for the first time.
Uh-huh.
I'm led to believe, it was snowing in Las Vegas the other day.
No,
really? I think something really weird happened. Yeah, the weather's fucked, man.
That's fucked. That's true. But I would like, God, when you always say this, when we were kids, there was a lot more snow, but there actually was. And I do miss it.
You shouldn't be, in my opinion, you shouldn't be able to see such a large change in the weather in our silly, piffly little human lifespans.
That's right, and the climate is changing. But
we have seen you.
I love surfing in the snow. It's the most beautiful experience because what happens, it absorbs so much sound. When the wave comes towards you, it's completely silent. And then it just goes whoosh, and then passes you. It's great.
I was driving over back from Blairgowrie, and there's a kind of, you come up on the higher ground and got caught in the middle of a snowstorm, but there was thunder snow.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
It was wonderful.
Because it's just this, you can't tell where the flash comes from. It just appears around you. Oh, it's great.
But there's a thing I watched. It's a guy collecting rocks. I'm quite bored, man. But he was in Michigan, and he was down along in this lake, and the waves were freezing. When it was splashing up on the shore, the trees were just completely frozen solid. It's beautiful. Cold. It's marvelous. The beauty of nature, man. It can be absolutely spectacular. The things you can see. It's mind blowing.
Mind blowing. Yeah, I love all that. But surfing in the snow, and sometimes the sand's all frozen. So when you walk along,
would get cold, would it not? Though.
You know what? Because the sea really falls behind the air temperature. So in November, December, the water can be still relatively warm. You've got full wetsuit, winter wetsuit, and everything. Right. But even in January, February, it's so cold on the outside. When you hit the water, it's slightly warmer, so actually it doesn't kill you as much as you think, and there'll still be like little tiny icebergs about 6-7 inches across. Just
remember when
the
Tay froze?
Yes,
was it 10 years ago?
Yeah,
I saw that, and it was big like slabs of ice. That was pretty spectacular.
Incredible.
That was a lot. That was quite that was wonderful. I like the fresh feel to the cold air when you go out for a walk.
Oh, it's nice, lovely. Isn't it?
Good in the lungs.
Yeah, I like all that.
You know?
Although don't have a mint and then go outside in cold air because you'll breathe in for 3 hours. Oh, it goes on forever. It's horrible.
Oh God.
I'd love snow right now. Is it? What's it? Look at it. You know, the sky is heavy.
The sky's heavy. The street was closed for a wee while. That was wonderful. There was no traffic.
Oh, great.
But it's back on again. Still, there's a lot of traffic going about. I went to the shop the other day in the Copi, and there seemed to be the technology I thought it was Skynet,
right?
Because the cash cards have stopped working.
That's the first line of attack.
The Copi was just full of junkies without masks on.
Oh Jesus!
And one of them tried to come near me, and well, I didn't give him that option.
No.
He was quite indignant about it though, because junkies are all about respect.
Yes.
if you're not respecting them, again, they're a shambling human wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they expect you to show them a great deal of compassion and respect. I don't.
No, I
But
don't.
yeah, the whole thing had broken down. So I was wanting to buy my chicken. My chicken. Do you like a chicken thigh?
I'm a vegetarian, so it's limited.
Oh. It's very difficult sometimes to have a conversation with you because I do like food. You vegetarians.
Oh,
Yeah?
don't even like
Yeah,
vegetables.
I bet there's a lot of vegetarians that I know you don't even like vegetables. I've always thought you'd like a root vegetable. A nice big carrot.
No, I don't like carrots.
No?
No.
What's wrong with a carrot?
I don't know. They just taste weird. Tomatoes,
Oh, for
I don't
fuck's
like.
sake.
They're a fruit, I know, but I don't like
That's
tomatoes.
a fruit, yeah. Tomato. You don't like a tomato?
No,
you don't like a nice.
taste like
So you
metal.
you don't like a tomato pizza?
No, when it's broken up like that, yeah, but a tomato on its own, because like I see people just biting into them or having a slice of it. I can't do that. If it's cooked, it's fine.
Your mother's still got time to turn you around.
It's too late. It's too late.
She needs
That
to.
ship has sailed.
I need to get you one of those shock belts that they have in Florida. Give it to your mother and just say, "Listen, turn it right up to 12.
Oh,
Just leave it on through the night.
oh Jesus!
Your duvet catches fire. It would sort you out, though. It would really sort you out.
Speaking of duvets, I got a brand new electric blanket because it's
Oh,
cold.
electric blankets are wonderful.
But
aren't
check
they?
this.
Is that what?
Sheepskin.
Is it an over or under number?
Under sheepskin. I'm
Yeah.
sitting on an over one right now. Oh, it's lovely. It's on
But you
level 9.
just slowly piss yourself. Is there not a chance you'll electrocute?
Waterproof.
Does
You
that
can put this one in
happen?
the
Has that
washing.
ever happened?
I imagine it has. That's why all electric blankets now, you can just throw them in the washing machine. They're all waterproof and that. But I'm sure it happened in the past that someone pissed themselves and got a
Because
bit of
it's
a
just
zap.
been like the element to a kettle, basically.
Yes,
at
yeah,
one time.
just plugged straight into the wall, man.
What I like an electric blanket for is I like just to get in a cold night. You just have it on, so the bed's warm. When
That's
you get
what I
in.
use it for, yeah, and I put it
But I
off.
don't.
yeah.
I would never lie in the bed with the blanket on. That would be too much.
It's too much. You can't do it. But yeah, just
No.
because sometimes I forgot to put it on, and you get in the bed, you feel like crying.
Oh.
It's so brutally cold.
Because you've got zero body fat, so
Zero
it
body
could kill
fat.
you.
Yeah, it's just bones
It
and skin.
could kill you. It's you can that bit in 7 when there's a guy tied to the bed,
That's me.
and they basically say if you shine a light into his eye, he'll die of a heart attack. That's you getting.
That's me. Fucking cold. That's me. And
You
the
just
way I
make a
jump
little
up,
whimper.
Yeah, that's it. It's the same thing.
Oh,
that's
God.
a picture to put in people's heads, isn't it?
Aye.
Ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
God. But it's just a pallet you sleep on.
Oh, no, I don't sleep on pallets anymore. I got a bed.
But what they don't realise is you've got 2 pallets, that's a mattress, but your blanket is just bits of pallet wood you've broken up.
No, that's all gone.
Oh.
And you may be exaggerating, but I slept on a pallet for years. I am now on a proper bed. It's sort of square steel, all matte black, lovely.
Oh.
Not memory foam, but one of those Blindcraft.
Oh God! It doesn't want that. It doesn't want a memory of your buttocks.
No,
does
it doesn't.
Jesus, it doesn't.
You give it PTSD.
Oh God! It's dreams. Your memory foam mattress has nightmares. It's like getting those mattresses you get. You can try them for 6 weeks, and if you didn't like them, you send them back.
Oh God, I'd have to burn it.
It would send itself back. It's like, where's my mattress gone? You see it running down the street towards the post office.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, wash your balls. Take
Wash your
care.
balls, people. Frosty
Laters.
balls. Frosty balls. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.